Well, there have been many studies over the years that have shown that most marking has very little impact on children's progress. So for some time we've been looking at how to make the feedback more immediate, how to involve the children throughout a lesson in giving feedback to each other, in thinking about their own achievements and where they could improve. So what we have is we're heading towards constant review in the classroom. Children constantly stopping and looking at where they've been successful, where their best bits are, where the excellence is, and where and how they could improve. Good learning is about moving forward, about saying, how could I make this even better? So that there's always this quest for improvement.
We first see Natasha asking her 10-year-old children to self-assess their current understanding of equivalent fractions at the beginning of a lesson using their whiteboards and traffic lighting. Notice how rigorous her approach is. She asks the two boys with green traffic lights to prove that they know what equivalent fractions are. After checking that this is accurate, Natasha promises the boys some challenging examples to stretch their learning. Children in this class know they can be completely honest about their understanding and trust that she will help them learn according to that benchmark.
Learning today is what an equivalent fraction is and learning how to recognise them from the set of numbers. You have to spot which ones match up. Could you do me a traffic light, please? For number 1, do you know what an equivalent fraction is? And do you think you can recognise them at this point in the lesson? So red, red, amber, amber. Is that for amber for both? Okay, red, 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 amber, half red, half amber and a red. Okay, lots of reds. Is anyone on a green in here for it? Thomas, you think? Oliver. Thomas and Oliver? Oh, you on green? Both of you? Red, red? Okay. Anyone else on a green apart from these two boys? Okay, boys, whilst I'm writing on the board, I'd like you to write me down some equivalent fractions. Right, the rest of you, I'd like you to look on the board. I'm going to write some fractions, and I would like you to think about which one you think is the odd one out. Okay? So there's only one that's the odd one out. You've got to spot which one it is. Try not to discuss it at this point, and you just write the answer down quite small on your whiteboard so nobody else can see it. Okay, try and work out which one you think is the odd one out. Oliver, which one did you think is the odd one out? Okay, Hayden, which one did you get as the odd one out? Did anybody put anything else apart from 1/3? Eleanor, which one do you think is the odd one out? 25/50ths. Okay, anyone else put anything different? Jack, which one did you think? 25/50ths. All right, anyone else? Right, Jack. Amy, did you put 1/3? Okay, I'd like you to work with Amy. Eleanor, you speak to Charlotte, please. And I'd like you to discuss why you had two different answers. The rest of you, working with the person sitting next to you, I would like you to discuss why you put that answer, because it's important for me to know that you didn't just choose that answer, because you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right, don't you? So some of you may have just chosen that one without really knowing why. Okay?
Because I explained after when we got to.
Which ones did you put, boys?
I did it 1 to 2.
Good.
That and way.
Good. So hopefully we'll give you some tricky ones today and how to work them out when they're slightly harder fractions, like 2/3 or something like that. Good boys.
We now move on to see how teachers have helped children to review their work mid-lesson as well as at the end. Helen shows how the process of peer feedback might look at the foundation stage. We see her getting the children to identify one child's best successes against the success criteria in her Jolly Postman drawing. Watch also for the way in which Helen's individual feedback to Sam includes both identification of successes and supportive advice about how he could improve.
Now, the first picture, you can hear, this person has drawn a picture of Cinderella yesterday, because that was one of the characters who the Jolly Postman delivered the invitation to. Thinking about our success criteria, we said big drawing, the right colours, neat colouring and lots of detail. Lots of detail. Have a look here. Emma, your name's come out. Do you think that person's been very successful?
Yeah.
Could you tell me why they've been successful?
Because I've done a big drawing.
It's a big drawing. It's nice, isn't it? 'Cause it's nice and big in the paper. It's not so tiny that we can't see it. It's really nice and big. It's filling up the paper nicely. Anything else they were successful with, Emma?
They did neat colouring.
They've got neat colouring. Where can you see in their picture it's very neat? Where?
Her dress.
On her dress. And how do you know it's neat?
Because it's not going out of the line.
She's not gone. She's drawn a nice outline, hasn't she? And she's kept the colouring neat inside. This looks like you've put a lot of
Yes,
effort in, doesn't it? Tell me about the success criteria for
So I
drawing.
coloured your house and on there.
Pardon? What does your picture need to be? Let's have a good look together.
It's a rainbow.
Who's that character you've decided to draw? Excuse me, Ben, could you just discuss with the girls? Just want to talk to Sam. That's the postman himself, is it? Now, what's one of our success criteria? What have we got to do? Make sure our picture is... It is. It's very neat. The way you've used the tools, you've been successful there, haven't you? I can't see any white gaps, can you? Can you tell me about this here? It's the tree, is it? You see this drawing here that you've done? What are that bits there? They're the leaves. How do I know they're the leaves?
Ow.
How does Mrs. Quincy know that they're the leaves? How would I know?
That's very good. It's baby rain.
Lily, do you know they're the leaves on his tree?
On the weekends. Yeah, but they're not coloured in.
Oh, do you think he needs to colour them in?
Yeah.
Would that be all right? Do you think you could add to it? As Lily said, if you colour them in, then you'll be even more successful, because then we'd all know it's the tree, wouldn't we? And also, if you look on those success, we've got big picture, pick the right colours, neat colouring, and lots of detail. Excuse me for 1 minute, Georgia. I know it's a sunny day. Is there any other details here on the bottom? Where's he going? Or what's he passing on the way? Would you go and have a think for me? Take your time and think. I'm very proud of the effort so far.
Denise's class of 7-year-olds is involved in cooperative improvement, with pairs working together on each other's newspaper article plans, identifying best bits and making improvements. Denise chooses one child's work at random to be analysed under the visualiser, and children suggest improvements.
Can you share your work with the person next to you? Can you say to them, oh, I really like this bit, or perhaps you could add this into yours? Just give them some advice on what you think is good and could be better. Just for 1 minute. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, Ellie. Go and pop yours under the visualiser, Ellie. So, that's it. Good girl. Perfect positioning. Well done. Right, so let's have a look at her headline. So the main headline is going to be nil-nil disaster, followed by the subheading, draw again. She's got the main information in there, who played, when it was played. Her viewpoint was that there was no point in watching the rubbish that was on the TV. Justin, what do you think could be slightly improved? You're not sure? Okay, we'll think about it. Bryony, what do you think?
I think it would be improving if she had more